and we'll get going. Okay, Josh, you want to go first? Go ahead.
Hi, Jos. We've obviously heard that Jimmy Anderson won't play. There's also some thought short board might not be selected. Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, and I think just with the build-up everyone's had, I think the guys just want to make sure everyone's perfect to go. No, Jimmy's not going to play, but he is fit. It's obviously a very long series, and we want a guy like that to be available to play as much part in it as possible. So I think it's just a bit precautionary. We bowled well yesterday, bowled again today, and obviously bowled a few spells in that couple of days we had as a warm-up game. So he is fit, but the guys are just being a bit precautious. Yeah, he's good. He's good to go. I think obviously he had an injury at the end of the summer in England, but he's obviously been coming back well from that. And again, the way the build-up's been here, it's been a little bit challenging in certain ways. So I haven't had that time playing those warm-up games as much as good. But again, bowled well in the nets yesterday, faced him in the nets, and he looks pretty good.
If there is no Stewie and then the same with Jimmy, like it's a pretty young bowling attack, I guess. You look at that and kind of have to back them in and encourage them, given how hostile it's going to be out here tomorrow with the Australians.
Takes the field. We're confident in that. That's why the guys are here. That's why the selectors have picked this squad. And there's some fantastic performers. Of course, Broad and Anderson are brilliant performers for a long period of time, and they're going to play a huge part in the series as well. So, whichever 11 we take the field with, we'll be very confident.
Formerly player one says that this Australian team doesn't have the same aura, but there's no member of your squad that's ever won here in Brisbane. Does it perhaps have the intimidation factor for you guys going into the series?
I think anytime you come and play in Australia, it's a huge challenge. We know that as an English team, history tells you that, and that makes it exciting. I think Australians tend to play well here. Obviously, lost to India recently at this venue, so it proves it's not impossible to beat Australia here. But we know to be able to do that, we're going to have to perform close to our best. I think as a side, we focus a lot on ourselves. The opposition a fantastic team, but we know if we bring our A game, we're going to be there or thereabouts.
There's been so much talk about English batters, techniques, especially the openers and some others. You get a lot of white balls. So when you do come here, it's just bounce and all that. So do you have to make technical adjustments, or are they just slight alterations here and there?
Yeah, I think that's the challenge of international cricket. Is anywhere you go in the world, you're going to have to adjust. At some points technically, and other points tactically. The skill of being able to play international cricket around the world is to adapt to the conditions that are put up in front of you. So coming to Australia with no extra bounce compared to other places we try and play in the world. That's what makes the preparation very key. And I think your first 20 balls as a batsman, when you get out there into the middle to try and assess conditions and to play accordingly as to what the conditions are on any given day. I think you look around the best players who ever played the game are the guys who can assess conditions very well, and that's what all of us have been trying to do and will be trying to do into the game.
Just on Ollie Robinson, most of what told, but considering the new bag, how crucial are runs from the likes of Chris Stokes and Ollie Robinson on the order to actually be the difference in the series?
Yeah, I think that's quite a big trend, I'd say, in the way cricket's changed over the years. A lot of bowlers working a lot harder on their batting. Those lower order runs that have been crucial in a lot of games that sides have had success. And I think as an English team as well, playing in bowler-friendly conditions at times in England, those lower order runs are vital. And again, in conditions such as this, if you can eke out extra runs from your lower order, that's going to go a long way to helping you win the game. And also guys, say you've got a set batsman who's in with the bowlers, allowing him to bat for longer as well. So all the bowlers work, not just an England team, I think all teams around the world, let's say bowlers work a lot harder on their batting now than maybe they used to.
Just obviously the fifth test in Perth has been confirmed that might be there. Is there a preference from the English side of things where you want to play that final test?
No, not at all. I think sitting here today with the match starting tomorrow, that feels a long way away. So I think all of the squad's focus is very much on tomorrow.
It is an Ashes, so there's nothing to lose. There's everything to lose in that sense. But do you feel like, given the record the Aussies have here over you guys, and the fact that they've named their squad, they're going at full strength. You now know Jimmy's not going to play, etc. Do you feel like you do have a little bit of a mentality incoming, nothing to lose, free swing at the Aussies at the Gabba, because all the pressure is essentially on them?
Yeah, I guess so, to an extent. I don't think we have anything to lose. Like you say, we've got everything to gain, but we go into every game wanting to win, wanting to play well. But we know to do that against Australia here, you've got to be at your best. So nothing much really changes from the way we need to approach the game. But no, certainly we've got nothing to lose. But that doesn't mean that we accept losing. We want to play well. We want to get a result out of this game.
Jos, there's been such an intense glare on your captain. Michael Vaughan came out today, said this will define his captaincy. Joe told us that it will define his captaincy this series. He's the best bat. He's had so much going on off the field. Are you guys just conscious he doesn't feel like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders going into the series? And some of you not senior guys are just aware of that, and how are you supporting through this series?
Absolutely, he needs lots of support. We know how well the form he's been in with the bat this year, so we must support him as the rest of the squad. We know he's our best player with the bat, so but we want to support him and help him share that load. But he's been in incredible form this year, especially. So I'm sure he comes here determined to continue that. But yeah, it's a massive series for him. Of course, he feels that is a defining series. In my eyes, can't say it would be over such a long period of a great career that he's had and will still have going forward. But it's a massive moment, isn't it, as an Englishman to come here with your team to captain a side in Australia. So we're determined to help sort of shed that load, isn't it, that is on him. But that's a full squad effort. It's the players in the team, the supports, and everyone around him.
We'll do Josh and then one more in the room, and then we'll go to the Zoom.
Will you take the gloves back from Bairstow kept in the last test? Are you going to keep?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I'm preparing to keep wicket, but obviously it's a strong squad here, and wait to see.
Jos, we've seen some ferocious bowling spells here, going back 8 years. Mitchell Johnson terrorised the English side. Do you feel like you've got the bowling attack? You can turn it back on the Aussies if they really go aggressive in this first test?
Yeah, I think what's important is to again assess conditions and bowl well. What's required on the pitch. Obviously, say the weather's been different to what usually coming into a game is, so maybe the pitch may play differently. But certainly someone like Mark Wood bowls with express pace. There's someone who's nice to face in the nets and can really crank up. So if that's what's required and he's in the 11. That's a possibility, but generally speaking, anywhere you go in the world, good bowlers don't miss a length and they're consistent and they continually keep pressure on batsmen. I think as a batsman, that's what you least like to face. So I'm sure all our guys will be very much focused on that as well.
Okay, we're going to go to Zoom. We're going to start with James Cole from Sky Sports News in the UK. A couple of questions from James, and then we'll go to Simon Mann at the BBC. A couple from him. So go ahead, James.
Hi, Jos. So just missed that at the top. Could you just clarify the situation with James Anderson and how that affects the bowling attack and what your decisions are?
Yeah, as he is fit. He's been bowling for a while. He's obviously bowled well in the nets yesterday. He's bowling again today. Had a few spells in the sort of truncated warm-up game that we had. But I think just a precautionary measure with an incredibly long series ahead. Making sure that I think the guys are just playing it a little bit safe.
And so how fit is Ben Stokes? Can he bowl his full allocation? Can he play as a full part bowler?
Yeah, definitely. Ben's fit to play. Has been performing very nicely in the nets and that warm-up game. He looks fit, he looks strong, he's bowling well, he's hitting the ball well as well. So it's a massive plus, obviously, for us as a side with Ben being available to play. He brings so much to the team, not just with his skill set on the field, his character we all know about as well. So it's great to have him back amongst the ranks. It's a big lift for everyone in the dressing room.
And finally,
Okay,
from me, with all the sort of the uniqueness of this series, is any of the gloss been taken off this Ashes series with everything that's gone around? Or how are you feeling going into it?
Yeah, excited. I'm incredibly excited. I think it is unique in terms of the way a build up to an Ashes series. I think individually, speaking about my own experience, 5 of us coming from the World Cup and then doing sort of 2 weeks away from the main squad as well, who were already here. So that's an incredibly unique way to lead into a series. And obviously the weather's been challenging for the amount of practice guys have had outside, and it's different as a professional. You adapt to that, and come 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, everyone is excited and ready to go.
Thanks, James. Let's go to Simon Mann, BBC, and then Dan Bretting.
I'm still on mute there, Simon.
Simon, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Sorry. Jos, was Jimmy always going to miss Brisbane, or has something happened here that has made the medics cautious?
I don't know, to be honest. From my experience, all I've seen since I've been here is Jimmy's been bowling and bowling well. Faced him in the nets yesterday. Hopefully face him again today. It's a great challenge as practice going into a test match. So he looks good to me, but sorry, I can't answer that question for you.
Okay. And Stuart's 100% fit, is he?
Looks it to me, yeah.
And just one final one from me. We've got 2 decent men as captains. Is this going to be the friendly Ashes?
Kind of has to be at the minute as well, because we're sharing a hotel. So the awkward lift conversations. Lifts are awkward at the best of times, aren't they? But like you said, two great men as leaders of their teams. I think over the years, in the way cricket's evolved, I think teams, international teams have got closer, haven't they, with the sort of franchise tournaments that you share a dressing room with. But I don't think that it would be any different in terms of a competitiveness on the field. I think, like you say, that as a bowling captain for Australia and a batting captain for England as well, I think 2 captains going sort of toe to toe will be a great one for the fans to watch as well.
And then one each going forward. So we'll start with Dan Bretting and then Will McPherson, Rory Dollar. Go ahead, Dan.
G'day, Josh. Just a question about the fact that we now know, with beyond all doubt as of yesterday, that there's going to be 2 pink ball tests in this series. I know you said you sort of got to adapt to whatever you get, but how different is it thinking that you're going to play a pink ball test in Adelaide and then one wherever the 5th test is?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the first I've heard of it. You're telling me. I've obviously heard that might be a case, but it doesn't really hold any weight sat here on the day before the test starts, the first test. So all the focus is on that.
Okay, let's go to Will, then Rory.
Hi, Jos. You've been an international cricketer for a long time, but this is your first Ashes tour. You've obviously played in 2 Ashes series at home. Is this kind of, do you consider this your ultimate challenge as an international cricketer? And is this the one you kind of dreamt of growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think an English player to come and tour Australia in the Ashes is certainly on your bucket list. I remember being here on a Lions tour in 2013 and came to watch a few of the days here in Brisbane of that first test. So I think, like I say, when you see it up close, you understand the intensity and the hostility of this environment, and it's a great shame in this particular tour that there won't be the travelling Barmy Army support, which is always huge coming to this part of the world as well. So certainly as an individual, I'm incredibly excited about the challenge. I know it's going to be incredibly tough, but that's kind of what you want to play the game for. Fully expect just throw myself into it as much as I can, and I need to perform near my best to be successful. Excited for the challenge.
Rory, and then we'll finish with Chris Stocks.
Hi, Joss. Talking about performing near your best, it's only a few weeks ago since you got after a bowling attack of Hazelwood, Stark and Cummins and gave them a bit of treatment. Does that leave you in pretty confident mood going into this series, knowing it's the same attack, albeit a different format?
No, really. I don't think it has any bearing, to be honest, on that. I think just individually for myself, I felt in a really good place in the World Cup. I think technically and mentally, I felt very comfortable at the crease. And I know playing a different format now, but my setup doesn't change, and the sort of feelings you want to have as a batsman. So certainly they were something I can carry forward into this series. And then again, as an international cricketer, as I mentioned before, you adapt to the situation in front of you.
And last one, Stocksy, go ahead, mate.
Hi, Jos. I guess a couple of years ago, some people might not have expected Jimmy to even be on this tour, but do you get the feeling that whatever happens over the next 5 tests, that he's still hungry to carry on into next summer?
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. I think it seems that age is just a number for Jimmy at the minute. It's obviously in fantastic shape. His skills are brilliant as always, and if anything, he still seems to be trying to improve and learn new things. And certainly that hunger doesn't seem to be wavering at all. He still gets just as grumpy if he bowls a bad ball, and that is competitiveness in anything he does, let alone on the cricket field, is incredibly high. So certainly see him wanting to continue for as long as he can, and simply feel like there's anything in the way of him doing that at the moment.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone.